As a country in southeastern Europe, it may be surprising that the last surviving Greek empire in antiquity is located near modern-day Afghanistan in a region known as Bactria. This anomaly began when Alexander the Third of Macedon, also known as Alexander the Great, swept through the Achaemenid Empire and into the Indian subcontinent. He was able to expand into the Punjab region of India and Pakistan, famously defeating Indian King Porus near the Hydaspes River. This led to the Hellenization, or adoption of Greek culture, by many of the different civilizations and peoples of the area, a process that would continue long after his death. After Alexander's premature death in 323 BCE, his empire was soon split up between his family and generals, known as Diadochi. A large amount, including Alexander's territories in South Asia, went to one of his generals named Seleucus I and became known as the Seleucid Empire. Seleucus was occupied with wars with the Indian king Chandragupta towards the end of the 4th century BCE, which he lost and was forced to relinquish his easternmost domains, which included parts of Bactria. Chandragupta's successor, Ashoka, continued to expand the empire. After being appalled by the bloody Kalinga War, he converted to Buddhism and focused on spreading the religion throughout his empires with the help of missionaries. Among the converted regions was Bactria, and despite the Greek origins of the people, they embraced the new religion. In Bactria, Diodorus, the satrap or regional leader of Bactria under the Seleucids, seceded from their rule and declared independence. Parthia, another breakaway state, helped contribute to the decline of the Seleucids during the 3rd century BCE. The Seleucids, under Antiochus III, looked to restore their empire to its former greatness. The Parthians were forced to be vassalized by his subsequent military campaigns. Antiochus continued to siege the city of Bactra, which was the capital of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom. In the end, the sheer length of this campaign, 3 years, forced him to accept peace with the Bactrians, led by Euthydemus, in which Antiochus's daughter was married to the successor to the Greco-Bactrian throne, Demetrius I. Now we will turn away from the Seleucids and focus on one of the greatest monarchs of the Greco-Bactrians. Demetrius, due to conversion efforts by the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, was a Buddhist, along with a majority of his subjects. The Mauryan Empire had now been completely vanquished by the Hindu Shunga dynasty. The Bactrians considered the Mauryans allies, as they had spread the Buddhist faith to the region, and Demetrius wanted to expand into India to avenge the former Mauryan Empire and possibly to protect the Buddhists in the region from persecution by the Shunga dynasty. Demetrius began with expanding his empire in all directions, however, then began to focus solely on conquering areas directly south of their territory, which included Punjab, Kashmir, and Gandhara. Demetrius became posthumously known as the Invincible, since he had never lost a battle. Demetrius' successors continued his work to expand into the heartland of the Indian subcontinent, and even took under their control the city of Pataliputra. By now, the Greco-Bactrian kingdom was huge, spanning from Bactria and Ferghana in modern-day Central Asia down to the Ganges River. Due to the size of this empire, the generals that assisted in the conquest of the Ganges River area in India created their own empire that comprised of the Indian territories of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom. This period was the peak of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom. During this time, a syncretism between the Buddhist and Greek cultures developed in the region. In Gandhara, a mountainous region between Punjab and Bactria, there developed a unique form of art in which Buddhist art had a strong Greek influence on its style. It would even combine figures from both Hellenistic and Buddhist traditions. Even today, there are many sites throughout Afghanistan that still display this lasting influence, such as Ai Khanum and Hadda. The Indo-Greeks also spread their art forms, with several Greek-influenced sites being found in northern India. However, during the split, a king that may have been affiliated with the Seleucids named Eucrates took power from the Bactrian king at the time. Eucrates soon turned on the Indo-Greek kingdom, causing a long war and rivalry between the two sides. This caused land in the northern regions of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom to be lost to invaders known as the Yuezhi, and for western Bactria to be lost to the Parthians. Both sides were further weakened by this rivalry, and after Eucrates was murdered by his own son, a period of political instability ensued. In 130 BCE, the last Greco-Bactrian king, Heliocles, was overthrown by the Yuezhi nomads. The Indo-Greek kingdom lasted longer than the Greco-Bactrians, but in 10 BCE they too fell to Indo-Scythian invaders. Although the height of the Greco-Bactrian kingdom had passed, their art and tradition were survived by the Kushan Empire, during which there was a revival of the syncretic Gandharan art. Although a majority of the inhabitants' older traditions are lost, their influence through their impressive ruins and architecture can still be felt today.